finally it's here, and finally I'm doing a proper video. This is my new 2015 991.1 GTS in base white with black trim for the GTS trim options. You can see the GTS sticker on the side, which I will probably cover or remove. It has the center lock wheels, which I'll talk more about, but basically center lock wheels in black, which I love. This has the previous owner, this is a slightly used car. The previous owner put clear LEDs in, which is perfect. I actually have, now I have an extra set I don't know what to do with. It has the sport design mirrors, has a glass roof or sunroof, and some very dark window tinting, as I'll mention occasionally. This car was immaculate. I mean, shout out to Porsche of West Broward, Kashif and others there. They did an incredible job helping me obtain this car. I literally 2 weeks ago flew down on a Friday, picked up the car, drove it back to Pennsylvania over the weekend with a couple stops, and driving at 1,200 miles. It was perfect. It was a great shakedown run. Not a squeak, rattle, or any issue in this car whatsoever. Everything was immaculate. The car's paint and finish was perfect. No dings, no dents, scratches, abrasions. Didn't see any real swirling. I will comment though that one thing that I'm curious about was the paint protection film on the in front of the rear wheels. It really, I mean, I don't know if you can see in this video, but to the eye, the natural lighting, it's very yellow already, and this car is not that old. Now it was in Florida, so I'm assuming it gets a lot more sun, but still, considering the overall condition of the car, I'm surprised that those are yellowing so fast. So with that, maybe it's something that happened from the previous owner, where I did my first detail the other day of the car, and based on how the water was just flying off the paint, I think this car has been opti-coated or nano-coated or some type of coating, and maybe when they were doing the car, they obviously didn't remove some of the paint protection or the stickers and the badges in the back, and I can see that maybe there's some yellowing because of that. Maybe they got some abrasions on it. I don't know. The only other thing I'll point out is with this car, like I said, the window tinting is very dark. I don't know if it's legal in Pennsylvania. It's perfect for Florida. Here it may not be legal. I don't know. No police have pulled me over yet. So hopefully, I'll just leave it on there and see what happens. If I need to, I might have to replace it. But they did the entire side windows and the rear deck window, which goes very nicely with the rest of the car, by the way. This has the standard, the S brakes or the steel brakes, which I'm okay with. I was hoping to find a car that had the PCCBs, because I like the ceramic brake look, and also that they shed less dust. However, very, very few GTSs that I could find with the features and options I wanted that had PCCBs. I may never add anything else to this. I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to think. It just has the standard GTS in black configuration, and overall, like I said, this car is perfect. Some people ask me why white. Well, I didn't really care, to be honest, because I'm going to get some paint protection film put on, and then I'm going to probably wrap this car, and I'm going to wrap it just about any color I want, or maybe some very funky design. I don't know yet. Something pretty cool. I'm starting to talk to some people now about that. This car has the PASM Sport suspension, which lowers it another 10 millimeters over the S. It does not have PDCC, or the dynamic chassis control, which I'm happy with. I'm probably going to add a DSC Sport controller module, just to give me more balance and things like that over the PASM Sport. But there's no need for the DSC controller if you have PDCC, for the most part, in my mind anyway, in my opinion. And I'm not really tracking this. I just like the handling characteristics of it. And right now it's actually perfect. I don't know if I'm going to change anything. The exhaust on this is phenomenal. It's the Sport exhaust, but I feel like it has a little more oomph to it than the S cars do with the Sport exhaust. I went down to Fab Speed, and I'm familiar with the AWE switch path exhausts. And if this was an S car, I probably would consider changing out the exhaust to something, but so far, I'm loving this exhaust on this, and I think I'll just leave it for now. So this car has the black GTS deck lid. It has the active spoiler, which I'm going to probably change this to a duck tail as soon as I can. Not sure when, but I'll probably do all the work myself, and I'll record that so that I'll do a DIY on doing that. But let me talk a little bit about some of the other parts of the car. Shut the door. So these are the center locks, which everybody has different opinions about whether they like them or don't like them, whether they're a pain in the ass or not, or scared of them or whatever. Anybody knows my videos, I really don't give a shit. And I like them. I bought the car because of the overall package of features, including the center locks. And everybody that doesn't have the center locks loves them. Everybody, a lot of people that are online on Renlist and others make all sorts of claims and comments about the center locks. And I just noticed, looks like I lost a wheel weight. Huh. I gotta check that out. I think I might have lost a wheel weight. Just real quick, I've got the clear tail lights with the black trim, the clear tail light in this, or brake light in the center. These are all, the clears are not something I would have paid to add, but now that I have them on the car, I actually like them. I'll probably leave them. As you can see in the clear, let's see if I can get a better shot. In the clear, they have a lot of black in there. So I think it overall goes with the car pretty well. Sorry for the shaking. It has the black tips, black script on the rear. You can see it goes well with the black roof. That's the glass sunroof. Kind of ties into the whole car, along with the really dark window tinting. And then, let's see, I'll show you this. Oh, we got the clear corners and the expensive faux aluminum. It's not even real. It's just plastic aluminum look. Gas cap, which again I wouldn't have paid for, and since somebody else did, I'll take it. Looks nice. And sport design mirrors, as I mentioned before. Okay, so we talked about the exterior. Let's talk about the interior. This has the GTS interior package in black with the Carmine red deviated stitching. That was a must for me to go for with the GTS. I looked at a couple cars that had the silver or rhodium deviated stitching with black, and it just didn't make sense to me. I think the GTS looks great with the black and red deviated. The GTS interior package also has the carbon fiber door card dash trim, which I think looks phenomenal. It's got the Alcantara seat inserts and door and everywhere else, steering wheel, which a lot of people don't like the Alcantara. I didn't really care about having ventilated seats. I like the heated seats, which you get, but could care less about the air conditioning or vent seats. This car has PDK, as I mentioned before. A really nice feature, which I wouldn't have paid for, but I'm glad that somebody else did, was 18-way seats. I had seats in my C4S that were the 14-way, and they were so-so. These 18-ways, I can tell you, after driving 1,200 miles at 4-hour, 6-hour, 10-hour stints over a couple days, these 18-ways are wonderful. You can adjust them so many different ways to fit exactly my how I like to sit and drive. Very comfortable. I really didn't have any back problems until the very end of the trip, just because I had been in for almost 2 days. And then, I'm 5'11 and a half, which, again, I can get this position perfectly for me. Another feature that was added to by the previous owner was center console trim in carbon, which matches the carbon on the dash. It's beautiful. I mean, it's wonderful. The Alcantara steering wheel is a sport design wheel, which I love the paddles. They work really well for me. They feel good, very tactile sense to me. The Alcantara covered wheel, I'm a little disappointed in. I like the Alcantara is not the problem. What I think is the problem is there's a lot of stitching on this wheel, and they didn't do the deviated. to me, that seems pretty cheap. They should have at least offered an option to do deviated stitching on the wheel. And then also, on the wheel, there's an up or north indicator that's, you can feel it, but visually it looks like something fell off or came off the wheel. It looks clunky. They went to the trouble of putting a piece in here that matches the rest of the Alcantara, but they should have just put a deviated piece like red or whatever color, or at least offer it as an option so that people like me can add it. But anyway, enough about that. The car handles wonderful. I don't really, care. The Alcantara wheel I might have to get redone anyway because just my own driving habits. I can see I'm already starting to mat down the Alcantara on the sides. One other option that the previous owner built this car with was they added a single carmine red dial in the center, and I think it looks great. However, it seems half-assed. They should have done all 4 of the dials with the deviated color. I would have personally done it that way. I wouldn't have done just one. You might as well do all of them. And also, they didn't do the Sport Chrono Clock either, which I would have just done that whole set, and it would have been perfectly balanced. It would have looked visually much better than what it looks now. Mind you, I'm not going to take it, I'm not taking anything away from this. It's still wonderful, but again, if it was my build, I probably would have done all of them instead of just one or none, right? And that's it for the interior. I think, the car, one thing is I added, right after I got back to Pennsylvania, I had a set of Porsche all-weather mats. I put those in. You really need that around here. You just pick up all sorts of stuff from my garage, from the outside, from the weather. Plus, I do bring my kids in the car quite a bit, and believe it or not, my daughter's softball cleats and things like that will go in the front here. And that's it. That's pretty much a view of the car. I'll talk about some of the other things here that you can see. Hopefully we can see some of this if I bring the camera in. So you can see the red dial in the center, which I think looks really, really pretty good. Again, I would have done all the dials because just visually balancing things. The only other thing I'll point out, might be hard to see, is which is a nice feature with the GTS interior package, are the GTS headrests, the stitching. So that's really it. That's the car. Hope you enjoyed as much as I am in seeing this. I'll probably have a lot more video and DIY articles in the very near future. It still has the summer rubber on it. I probably have to change that out. Well, actually now we're going into spring. I'll probably leave that on and see how it goes. Today it was 25 degrees out when I first came out, and the summer rubber in 25 degree weather here is a little dicey when you start to drive it around. But the weather is changing. So that's it. Thank you for watching. And please, if you want to see more, please subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll keep bringing some new videos. I'm not sure if I can get on a schedule just yet, but I'm going to try and start doing some DIYs very soon. I have some BMC filters to put in the rear. I'm going to change out the cabin and other filters. I'll do the oil change. This car is a CPO car, but like always, I don't really trust what somebody checks a box on a piece of paper without seeing it done. So I'm not sure how much, if they actually changed the oil or not, what maintenances they did. So I'm going to do a full oil change, filter, everything else. I'm going to take the wheels off as soon as I get a proper torque wrench, which I don't have quite yet, but I'm going to get a proper torque wrench, get the wheels off, check the brake pads, all the things that I couldn't do when I picked up the car, and I'm just taking the dealer's word for it. It also looks like I might have lost a wheel weight on this wheel, so I'm going to have to check that and see if I need to rebalance the wheel. I don't know where that might have happened. And that's it. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more, please hit the like button and subscribe.